Good afternoon, everyone. Today is 12/11/2014. I think this is our fifth Mastermind call, so thank you everyone who's on the line. We have a few regulars. We have a couple brand new people, and we got a guy who's just doing very well, killing it with the system. And I'm sure other people are gonna straggle in. But Chad, I guess you want to kind of start with a status update, or give the group an update on what the company's up to?
Yeah, we always like to kick these off with good news. So the good news for the week, we've got a ton of new subscribers from varying markets and different levels of experience, some with teams, some individuals from across the country. So we had a great call last week. I think Jim said we had 38 people, and a lot of sign-ups came from that. And I think this is a great forum for the people who aren't quite sure. They're just learning probate. So we really appreciate you guys coming out, especially sharing your success stories. That's what this is all about. It's not just about what's working for me or for Jim. It's, we got a lot to learn here too. So I want to thank everybody that does take the time to show up for these calls. And we've got a gentleman on the call today that's going to, Paul Hayhurst, and he's in Melbourne, Florida, I think. And Paul is killing it with his system. And Paul, if you want to be generous enough to share, we'd love to hear what's working so well for you. I think Jim told me you took 2 listings this week, and one was at least $1 million listing. So if you don't mind sharing what's working for you.
Sure, I don't mind. I'll quantify that, though. I don't have those listings yet. I'm going to get them, but both properties need to be have some estate sales to sell belongings and things before we can put it on the market.
And do you have that team member in place?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a company in place that's kind of part of your team to do that?
Yes, I do. And that's kind of what the letters I send to people. I looked at the letters you guys had, and I just kind of customized it for the way I want to do this. And my whole philosophy is I'm trying to find people I can help through this situation. There's people out there that, they don't know how to be a personal representative going through the process, something they may never have done before, or they're busy and it's a big disruption in their life. My letter to them is offering them a menu of services that can help them through this, getting this accomplished, which is anywhere from 3 or 4 options really. The first one is to help them put the property on the market, get market value for it, and handle it as their broker. Second, if the property has belongings and lots of things that is in need of getting disposed of or sold, I have a estate sale lady, 2 of them actually, that respond real well, and they've handled probably 6 or 7 of these for me, and the people have been real happy with them. They've sold all the belongings and got money for them and got the house cleaned out in the process. The other option or menu of things I can help them with is if they want to sell these homes and they are in need of repair, so that people can get a loan on them if they're not in that kind of condition. I have 2 different general contractors that show up, respond well, very good with working with people to fix the problems with the house so they can get it on the market and not have any problems during the sale. And, of course, the 4th option is a quick sale, just cash buyers to buy it in the condition it's in with everything in it or however they want to do it. So I'm coming from the standpoint of, hey, I'm here to help you. And most of the calls I get, these people have been looking for this help and are really kind of thankful I sent them the letter, which makes the process of helping them a lot easier. So that's pretty much the way I'm doing it.
In your experience, so you give them 4 options, and it sounds like you might actually bullet point those out. We kind of hide them in the text. We offer the same 4 options. What I find is most of the people that call me, the thing that stands out in their mind is the cash offer. Whether that's the best solution for them or not, that's what made them respond. Is there any one of the 4 options that you can say you get more phone calls on than the other 3?
I would say it's split between people wanting a cash offer for the property, and they have the other dilemmas they're trying to deal with, which is get rid of all the stuff in the house. And want to, most people want to get as most money out of the property as they can. They're the other half, that they want to get the most money out of the house they can, and are willing to put a little money into it to get it in the condition it needs to be in to be able to get the most money out of it. So it's a 50-50 thing, but it's probably more people wanting help in selling the property on the open market than people wanting the quick sale in my case.
Okay. And are you just sending one letter, or are you sending the same letter multiple times? What's your sequence?
Well, here's where I'm on the call myself to try to learn how to do this a little better. I send one letter one time. They don't respond, and it's probably people I've missed if I would follow up. And that's really what I'm on the call for, is to try to find some methods efficient methods to do that.
Yeah, well, we can work with you. You can listen to one of the call that we did last week, or you can give Jim or me a call personally. I think if we just incorporate ringless voicemails or automated dialing, you can set that up and call all those people in a matter of 5 minutes. It's better than doing nothing, and we've actually had good results with it. I'm building a team and don't really have the time to sit down and make every call. I'm changing that because I've heard some of our members having great success. So now my assistant makes those calls, and then I follow up with the ringless voicemail. But that's something you could put in place today and probably double your results just by having, a multiple touch campaign. So you've been getting our leads for how many months now?
I think the first batch I got was in April of this year.
Okay. And how many listings have you taken that were probate?
I've taken between 8 and 9 listings, and I have probably another 6 or 7 that are going to be listing with me shortly. 2 of those were 2 I got last month of last month's mailing. One was a $70,000 house, but it's in good shape. It'll sell quick, and the other was a oceanfront house in Satellite Beach. It'll probably sell for somewhere between $900,000 and $1 million.
Nice. And how many people are on your list?
This is all from the letter?
Yeah, that's just from the letter. That's all I've done.
And what do you
send
average?
Me that letter.
Well, you have about 15 people that want to buy your letter from you. Or I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm closest. I'm over in Lake Nona, so you can just put it on, just fold it up and fly it by a little airplane to me. That's good.
Well, I don't mind sharing it. I'd like to see what other folks are putting in their letters as well. Probably do it by email. An attachment would be the most efficient, though.
Yeah, send it to me, and I'll get it shared with everybody, and I won't give it to anybody in your market. I promise.
Okay.
And Paul, how many on average? How many leads do you get per month?
You talking to folks?
I would say about 2 out of 100. 2% is the response, and maybe like 1.5% would turn into listings.
Yeah, but how many leads are you getting, like, in total?
Well, like I say, like, out of every 100 letters I send, probably 2 leads. And
I think you mean how many leads do we?
Let me rephrase this. How many people are on your list each month?
Okay. Well, like this month, I just got the leads the other day. There was like 280. The month before that was 350. The month before that it was 180. So, I would say it averages maybe a little over 200 a month, maybe.
So you're spending $250 to $300 a month in marketing costs, or let's call it $500 with your mail and leads, to get 16 listings in 8 months or 7 months.
Yeah, and I'm kind of finding this is having a little bit of a cumulative effect where people that I may have sent a letter to 3 months ago, for whatever reason, they weren't ready to sell or were ready to talk to anybody about it, but now they are. So
yep. I have
the numbers will probably improve over time.
It will, and that's something I've tried to explain to people. Like, it's not a campaign that you try for 30 days or 60 days. I mean, you're going to hit saturation in month 3. You know, you'll have 3 lists, and if you're sending 3 letters, like my sequence is 3 letters. So by the end of the 3rd month, I've got 900 pieces of mail flying around, but it never goes above that. So you're kind of saturated at 90 days. What I find, I've got 2 listing appointments tomorrow back to back, and they're pretty much come list me, and they're off of my August list. So they've waited that long, and they've finally gotten to a point where the taxes are due, the house needs cleaned out. It's just time to sell it. So for the people who don't see immediate results, most of our members do see results within 30 days, at least 1 listing. But if you're not seeing it, hang in there, because people grieve at different stages, and you get trailing business. I mean, we've got stuff coming in from July and August. So the ones that didn't reply to my letter 1 in November, I might list that home in January or February. So, well, Paul, that is an awesome success story. Thank you so much for sharing that, and get that letter to Jim, and we'll get it out to everybody.
Okay. I got a question. You're probably talking to one of the worst technology people in the whole bunch. But there's this list that you send. There's a way to pull labels off of that, correct?
There is.
Okay. See, I need some help with the technology just to speed the process up for myself. So I don't know how I can get those instructions from somebody, but
are you doing the mail in house?
Yes, I am.
Do you know what your cost is per letter?
I'm not sure. Maybe
we have a relationship with a mail house that's here in Roanoke, Virginia, and we've almost got the technology connected where you can just simply visit a website, upload your list, upload your letter, and hit send. And if it's just 1 letter, that date. If it's a sequence, which date you want each letter to hit. I have not been able to beat her cost anywhere. I used to use a mail house out of California, and she's about 1/3 of what I paid them. So our letter costs are usually around about $1. It cost me about 63 cents to send the letter in house if we're doing everything. So rather than learning to mail merge and sticking labels and licking envelopes, my advice would be just set it and forget it. When you get the list, just say, hey guys, take care of this mail for me, and it'll be done. So call it $1 a piece. You're going to be averaging $2.50 a month for your mail, but you never have to lift a finger. So I think there's definitely more dollar productive things you can do than sending out 300 letters.
Oh, I totally agree. Now, one thing I do with this list, though, I cross-reference this list with the county records, because I don't want to be sending letters to probates where there's no real estate involved. Would there be a way on this Excel spreadsheet to identify only the ones that I wanted the letters to go to, and then send that to them along with the letter I want sent? I'm sure there is, but
yeah, what I would do is pick the column beside of the personal representative's name and right-click insert, and then go down and put a Y beside of everyone that owns real estate or has real estate, and then just delete all the other rows, and then upload that as your mailing list, because the others aren't going to be of any use to you. So, and that's one of our members out of Queens. He's doing that. The way our system is here in Roanoke, I haven't found an efficient way to scrub it that I'm willing to do. I actually just send mail to everybody, and I figure, if they didn't inherit real estate, maybe they know somebody who did. It was at least a branding opportunity for me. But yeah, all you need, once you scrub your list, that's the one you would upload. And so if it's 60%, What do you find? That's actually interesting. I know here in Roanoke we have on average a 66% home ownership rate. And it's, logic would tell you that if 100 people died, 66 of them probably owned real estate at the time. What are you finding in your market? What is the percentage? What would you say is the ownership rate, the actual ownership rate on your list?
About 2/3 of them.
So 7 higher than here. That's great.
I would say 60 to 70%, somewhere in that range. The probates that I mail letters to, of the lists I get, 60 to 70%, they own some sort of real estate that's tied to the deceased person.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But, just get in touch with me or Jim, and for the next maybe 48 hours, hopefully is the end of it. We're manually placing mail orders for clients. Soon we will have just a web form where you can do everything. It'll connect directly to the mail house. And when you get your leads, we'll have it to a point where you can actually automate it. If you tell us, well, in your case, you would want to always upload it once a month. So after you scrub the list.
Paul, thank you so much for sharing. I think what is probably encouraging for a lot of agents that, you're not even making phone calls and you're getting that kind of results. What kind of results would you think you get if you followed it up with a phone call? I know Chad is sending out a letter, and then a few days later he follows up with a phone call. And Chad, you're getting about 2 listings for every 100 letters you send out. Is that still holding true?
Yeah, that's what I found interesting about Paul's statistic. If for every 100 names that I get on a list, I'm getting 2 listings, and I'm not scrubbing against real estate records. I probably should be, but it's such a cheap campaign compared to other lead sources anyways. My lead cost is after three pieces of mail and paying for the leads, I'm probably at $8 per, and that's cheaper than any internet lead I've ever gotten. It's for what you pay for some of these other services. So, I can prospect to somebody or market to somebody for 90 days for $8. So I just send it. So it would be interesting. I need to actually scrub my list and see it, probably a higher response rate. But if I don't scrub it, I still get 2 per 100.
Excellent. Any questions, guys? We have a small group this week. Any questions from maybe Laura or Paul, first time on the call, or Bo? Anything you want to add that you're doing?
Well, Bo is going to your. A couple of calls ago, you talked about the 3-letter,
right?
Which I had not been doing, and I've got a service out of Fort Myers who are really an assistant who's handling that. And we're going the full shot with the handwritten notes on the colored envelopes and the 3 letters and the calls, of course. But I expect my business to really pick up. I've been in the program, for 3 months, and I've got 2 that are getting ready to list. But I expect it to pick up from here. We're just not, we're only getting about 40, maybe 20 to 30 per list. Boy, Melbourne's really a lot higher. That's interesting that Osceola County is so much lower than Brevard. Is that all of Brevard that you're getting?
Yeah, all of Brevard.
Well,
and I have had this list as little. The least amount I ever got in 1 month was like maybe 150, and last month the most was like 340 names, something like that.
Yeah, well, your population is a lot larger than ours. Okay.
I actually had a gentleman that signed up in California, and it was funny. He called me and said, I only got 32 leads last month. Is there anything you can do to get me more leads? And I said, well,
kill some people?
Not legally. Yeah, we're getting. and he kind of said, "Oh yeah, duh. I guess you can't control how many people die." So that
well, guys, it's awesome. I love when you guys. I love hearing these success stories. But makes our jobs great. Does anyone have any choke points or rocks in their shoe that they anything they need to know or need help with?
Any questions from the new people?
I have a quick question. Do you guys limit the number of people that you give your list to per area?
We're not going to sell it to more than 3 agents per area. So far, we're really trying to focus on selling 1 to everybody in the country before we go back and do seconds. But so you guys have a pretty good lead time. But our intention is not to give it to more than 3 agents per market. By then, you guys will be, by the time you get a second and third in your market, you'll be so good at it, they'll be playing catch up, hopefully.
Great.
All right. Paul, thank you so much. Anything else,
thanks
guys?
a lot.
Anything else, guys, that we can share this week? And we'll keep doing these until, I suspect, maybe do one more next week, and then we'll probably put it on hold till the first week of January. What is next week? Yeah, it's still a full week before the holidays, right? So
yes, sir.
All right. Well, Paul, thank you so much for sharing. Bo, Laura, and Paul, thank you for being a part of the group. And as always, if you guys have any questions before next Thursday, feel free to give Chad or I a call. And I know you all have it. Our website is alltheleads.com. Keep having successes. Keep helping people. And you guys have a great week.
Thank
you, sir.
All right. Take care.